If there was any doubt in your mind at all about the evil of Hamas, or whether actually what they represent is the vast majority will of the people of Gaza, then today things should be clear for you. And if they're not, well then you are choosing to look away. What we have seen today is a revelation of evil. For those who don't wish to see it, that's a choice. But for those who wish to look objectively, they should understand that the Palestinian cause and the people of Gaza collectively represent a cause that is unconscionable. That is no different to the cause of Adolf Hitler. Yes, they accuse Israel of being the Nazis. No, they are. Today, Hamas returned the bodies of Kfir Bibas, Ariel Bibas, Shiri Bibas, and Oded Lifshitz, whom they brutally murdered. They say, oh, no, they were actually killed in an Israeli airstrike and it's Israel's fault. Excuse me, you murdered 1,200 innocent, indiscriminately innocent Jewish and Israeli men, women and children on October 7th. You take them hostage. You've shown us who you are already. They're liars. They're murderers. And if they cared about these people's lives, they would have returned them immediately. Do not believe a word they are saying. So what do? First of all, let's have a look at what happened. They paraded the bodies on stage. And there they try to say it's Netanyahu's fault. No, it's your... It's... If you cared about them, you give them back. The lies, the evil is utterly unbelievable. There's no depth to their evil. Here they are, the Bibas family. And now Yarden, the father you see in the background, is left mourning the loss of his entire family. And this is October 7th when they were taken. Look at the terror and fear in their eyes. And many of you don't know, but Hamas brutally murdered Tonto, their family's beloved dog. And Shiri's parents, the mother's parents, Yossi and Margalit, were also murdered. And yet they try to say, oh no, Israel did this. It is utterly disgraceful. Look at this. All these different strips from the head represent the different factions in Gaza. They are handing them over to the Red Cross, who were involved in this ceremony, by the way. But the key thing to get and understand is also the complicity of the people of Gaza, and they supported this and all attended this ceremony waving. First of all, it says on Shiri Bibas' coffin, it said date of arrest, October 7th, 2023. An innocent mother civilian, and they call it date of arrest. But now look at this. There they are, parading the bodies of Israeli hostages through the streets with music playing in the background. And look at all the crowds. So you trying to tell us that it's It's just Hamas, but not the people of Gaza, and they're the innocent civilians in Gaza. Look at Gazan civilians showing up to celebrate the Hamas murder of a Jewish baby, his 4-year-old brother and his mother. Can you... I couldn't even begin to imagine this happening in the reverse, where you'd have Israelis and Jews cheering as a innocent Arab civilian is being returned, and they'd cheer and wave and have music playing. This culture is so poisoned with hatred and modern-day Nazism to its very core. Look at this. This is Palestinians brought their own children to watch, celebrate, and cheer as Hamas paraded the dead bodies of Jewish children whom they had kidnapped on October 7th and brutally murdered. They assemble to rejoice. Smoking, this guy you see is smoking hookah, right? Like it's some kind of entertainment show as they observe the Hamas demonstration. You know, Mossab Hassan Youssef, he said the Palestinians are the most pathetic people on the planet. He's right. I'm sorry he's right. And yes, I'm talking collectively. And yes, I'm sure there are people in there who don't want to be part of this, but I haven't heard them speak up. Oh, well, they'll get hurt if they do. I understand that. People spoke up in Nazi Germany, though. Or they found ways to resist or help. What I'm talking about is, generally speaking, what they represent collectively, the culture here, is one that is poisoned with Jew hatred. It's not about self-determination and nationalism and wanting a state of their own. It's about the age-old virus of Jew hate. Here they are using the parade to boast about the October 7th massacre that they carried out. They are holding signs with the names of the places they attacked. Near Oz, Urim, Nirim, the 8200 base, and more. See there? They're holding signs of the places they attacked on October 7th, celebrating with music on this day. This is Gazan society. It's lamentable. It's lamentable that this is the case, but this is it. Everything you've been told to feel sorry for them. Look, you know, as Eugene Kontorovich said, he said, I see many things in this picture. Famine is not one of them. We've been told to feel sorry for them, that they're being starved, that Israel's the aggressor. They are the aggressor. They say that they're the underdog. Israel is the underdog. They represent an anti-Israel global Arabic Islamic coalition against Israel, against the Jewish people. And the lies you have been told are the complete 180. So you think they're the underdog? Actually, they're just pawns in an operation to try and garner world sympathy to undermine and destroy the Jewish people. Look closely over here. You see the women are smiling and taking photos of the children dancing in the crowd, celebrating Jewish children being back in their coffins. I've never seen a more barbaric and animalistic society than the people of Gaza. Look. Now look what happens here. They say, hurry children, chase the white jeeps inside the Jewish baby and toddler lying coffin. Look, these kids are chasing after them as they're being taken away.
في هذه الحالة على وضع صور على كل تابوت وآخر، بمعنى أن المقاومة الفلسطينية تعرف هوية من في داخل كل.
That's what's being said. Hurry children, chase the white jeeps inside the Jewish baby and toddler lie in coffins. As Elon Levy said, do you think that Hamas would spare the bodies of the Bibas family the indignity of a propaganda spectacle? Think again. We're fighting psychopaths. And Hillel Fuld said, you want to know the craziest part? If the Palestinians are good at anything, it's PR. So how do we explain the spectacle we're seeing in Gaza now of the cheering crowd that a baby is being returned in a body bag? Surely they know that can't be good PR, but that's the thing. There's only one thing more important to them than their image, and that one thing is dead Jews. When they have to choose between good PR and celebrating a dead Jewish baby, PR has to take the back seat. Their savage, barbaric nature simply overpowers their need for good PR. He's absolutely right. And that's why in the end, people always reveal themselves in the end. Movements always reveal themselves. The truth cannot be suppressed for too long. Evil will reveal itself sooner or later. And destroy itself sooner or later, by the way. But that's the key thing here, is that as much as they try to deceive the world and say it's just about victimhood and Israel's the aggressor and they just want a state and that's what it's all about, and they were kicked out rather than they fled as a result of trying to destroy Israel in 1948. The truth comes out sooner or later. And that's what's happening to now. And I suspect today will be a turning point for a lot of people. For Israelis, Jews, in realizing that we can no longer indulge this. We can no longer think we can just make peace with these people. Indeed, that was the next thing I wanted to show you, because as well as the Bibas family, there was Oded, who was returned as well in a body bag today. A journalist for a far-left Israeli socialist newspaper. Oded was a fluent Arabic speaker and vociferous advocate for Gazan rights. So much that he volunteered for a decade with Road to Recovery to personally transport children from Gaza, where there were 36 hospitals, to Israel for the best medical care. Came home in a body bag from Gaza, betrayed and murdered by the people he fought so ardently for. May his memory be a blessing and a lesson. And the lesson is that Hamas went after so many people like him in the south on October 7th that wanted peace, that wanted reconciliation, that felt for the people of Gaza. And we've realized what lies at the root of this is not Israel doing some kind of injustice to them. It's about age-old Jew hatred. That's what this comes down to, ideological hatred. And so two-state solutions and all those kind of things are inevitably going to lead to more conflict, as we've seen over the last basically nearly 100 years. And as Ambassador Gilad Erdan said, he said, even in Nazi Germany, there were Germans who saved Jews. Not a single Gazan saved a single hostage. Many, many innocent Gazans took part in the kidnapping and murder, and many more came out today on October 7th to celebrate the return of Jewish babies in coffins. Hamas must be eradicated fully. President Donald Trump's vision must be realized. He's right. Which means time for relocation. You don't care about statehood. It's not what this is about. It's about Jew hatred. You just want Arab and Islamic domination of the world. You can't bear the fact that Jewish people have returned to their homeland because it threatens your Islamist, expansionist worldview of the world. Well, guess what? We're not putting up with that hateful vision anymore. The Jewish people live in the land of Israel. It's our eternal, ancient homeland. If you want to live alongside us, great, but you've blown it. You've had 100 years to try and show us that you can do that, and you won't. And you've shown us that you're not genuinely interested in some kind of distinct nation state. You see yourself as Arabs, so go live in the Arab world. Go live in the Arab world, which is 100 times the size of Israel. Hen Mazig reported that the IDF bomb squad is inspecting the coffins, and as grim as it sounds, I wouldn't put it past them. On October 7th, Hamas hid grenades under the bodies of murdered Israelis to kill the soldiers and medics who would come later to try to save them. They are monsters. Also looks like Hamas locked the coffins and handed over the keys to the Red Cross. When Israel tried to open the coffins, the keys did not work. There's no limit to the barbarity of Hamas. And yet they want to say that it's Netanyahu's fault, that they really care about these kids. Why are they locking the coffins? Why are they playing these emotional games with Israel? Oded Bibas, the father, who's lost his kids and wife, is still alive. How is he going to continue without seeing his kids again, without hugging them in his arms once more, without kissing his wife's forehead on Shabbat Eve, without seeing his baby take his first steps? It's just beyond painful. This is evil. This is pure, unadulterated evil. But there are some good people who still understand truth and falsehood, good and evil. Argentine President Javier Milei is anticipated to proclaim a national day of mourning for the deceased Bibas Israeli hostages released today from Hamas captivity. The IDF have confirmed that the 4 caskets handed over by the Red Cross, believed to contain the bodies of Israeli hostages, have undergone security screening. Troops ensured the locks could be opened to prevent delays at the Abu Kabir Forensic Institute. And the military ceremony led by the IDF chief, Rabbi Brig General Eyal Karim, is set to begin shortly, and Psalm 83 will be read as the caskets, draped in Israeli flags, are saluted and transported for identification. Footage may be released pending family approval, and if that's what they've decided to read, I'd also like to read that to conclude this video covering this horrendous saga. I'll read it in English, Psalm 83, because I know most of our viewers speak English and are English speaking. A psalm, a song of Asaph. O God, have no silence. Do not be silent, and do not be still, O God. For behold, your enemies stir, and those who hate you raise their heads. Against your people they plot cunningly, and they take counsel against your protected ones. They said, come, let us destroy them from being a nation, and the name of Israel will no longer be remembered. For they have taken counsel with one accord. Against you they form a pact. The tents of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagrites, Jebel Ammon, Amalek, Philistia, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Also Assyria joined them. They were the arm of the children of Lot forever. Do to them as to Midian, as to Sisera, as to Jabin in the brook of Kishon. They were destroyed in Endor. They were as dung on the ground. Make them their nobles, as Oreb and Zeb and as Zebah and as Zalmunna, all their princes, who said, let us inherit for ourselves the dwellings of God. My God, make them like thistles, like stubble before the wind. As a fire that burns in a forest, and as a flame that burns mountains, so will you pursue them with your tempest, and with your whirlwind you will terrify them. Fill their faces with shame, and they will seek your countenance, O Lord. Let them be ashamed and terrified forever. Let them be disgraced and perish. Let them know that you, your name alone, is the Lord, most high, over all the earth. It's an incredibly fitting psalm, because right now what we're seeking is that God avenge the blood of all these martyrs of the Jewish people, that we see justice now, and also comfort for the mourners. I think in many ways the Jewish people collectively are mourning. Even if people like Milei are calling in Argentina for a national day of mourning, how much more so for us, the Jewish people? But one thing we are assured of, that God assures us time and again in the Torah and among the prophets, is that he will exact justice against those who seek to destroy and oppress his people. We've seen that in some remarkable ways in the past year, but it's nowhere near enough. It's time for an end to suffering, an end to evil. The time has come for justice and for truth to reign supreme. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.